Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mpho Ndesi, and I'm a part-time master's student at Central University of Technology Free State in the Bloemfontein campus. In this slideshow, I will be presenting to you about some of the investigations I have been doing in my current study. Particularly in this research paper, the title states "Towards Improving Practical Work in Physical Sciences, the Role of Professional Learning Communities." Firstly, I would like to take you through the main key concepts which are the backbone of this particular study, and that is physical sciences, practical work, and professional learning communities. And these are the brief definitions on what these key concepts mean. Jade and al. In 2006 defined physical sciences as the categorization of progressive knowledge about the physical universe gained by experience and verified by experimental research. Yaga in 2011 describes practical work as a typical laboratory work where learners encounter ideas and principles at first hand, while Bath in 2016 describes professional learning community as a group of teachers that meets regularly, shares expertise, and work collaboratively to improve teaching skills and academic performance of the students. First and foremost, I'd also like to take you through the presentation breakdown on how this presentation is going to go on about. Firstly, I'm looking at the introduction, then South African challenges, research question, professional learning community's background and the aim of the research paper, expected outcomes, related literature and discussions, benefits of professional learning community, and lastly, the conclusion. Practical work is a very significant component of science education, and this is why in the further education and training, grade 10 to 12, physical sciences learners are expected to be taught the theoretical part of physical sciences in the classroom setup and have to prove these theories in the laboratory. In South Africa, the Physical Sciences Curriculum and Assessment Policy Statement, which is CAPS in short, advocates for inquiry approach to apply scientific laws, theories, and models for the explanation and prediction of events in the environment, and this is referenced from the Department of Basic Education 2012. Oguma 2018 alludes or rather maintains that teachers are thus expected to provide opportunities for learners to obtain investigative skills for designing and analyzing investigations. So this basically means that although teachers in their teaching stations where they work, they are given the scope of work, or rather the practicals that are prescribed that they are expected to do in the classroom setup or in their laboratories. Therefore, the responsibility is of the teacher, and therefore authority is vested in him or her as a teacher to ensure that learners are performing that practical work. Looking at the South African challenges, the current challenge facing physical sciences in South African schools is poor learner performance in physical sciences practical work, which forms an integral part of the formal assessment in the learner's school-based assessment at the end of the year. This problem is aggravated by a variety of contextual factors such as teacher underpreparedness. This is where teachers do not even bother to prepare for the practical work before they can start exposing it to the learners due to the lack of knowledge. The overcrowded classrooms where it becomes a little bit impossible, if not impossible at all. The under-resourced laboratories where there is lack of equipment, inadequate allocated teaching time, which is mostly in the Free State Teaching Assessment Guideline. Teaching time is allocated mostly in the theoretical part of physical sciences and less, or rather none, on the practical work. Teachers are at the center of this debacle, since the majority of teachers have inadequate subject knowledge base, have low self-efficacy levels in practical work, and lack technical skills to conduct science practical work. If this critical component of science is not attended to through teacher support programs like professional learning community, this has a potential of tarnishing the role and impact of science education in our communities. The main research question in this particular research paper states, what role can professional learning communities play on physical science teachers' practical work practices and knowledge base? Looking at the professional learning community's background and the main aim of this research paper, a professional learning community is of course a place where teammates find opportunities to study together and work collaboratively. This is referenced from Hort and Somers in 2008. As a result of this collaborative work, teachers expect that their learners can learn at reasonably high levels. When teachers belong in professional learning communities and work collaboratively with others, they will be able to transcend this information to their learners and may impact positively. In practice, it does not happen due to the different types of obstacles that learners face outside and within the teaching and learning fraternity. However, these opportunities help them to be involved in a continuous learning process and apply what they have learned in their practices. Such a collaborative process mainly stresses the need to seek new knowledge collectively, and this is referenced from Hort in 2012. This is ideally what this paper seeks to achieve: to use professional learning communities to mitigate the challenges faced by both teachers and learners in practical work. And through professional learning communities, this problem that is faced by both teachers and learners can be eradicated. Some of the expected outcomes in this research paper. It is intended that this reflected paper will contribute in curbing uncertainty towards practical work and enhancing teachers' confidence and effectiveness of practical work through participation in professional learning communities. Consequently, teachers' professional development, the acquisition of new research and technological tools, teaching abilities and their reflection on ideas will be enhanced, whilst learners' academic performance and motivation in physical sciences might possibly be improved and elevated. Our main contention, therefore, is that professional learning communities can be used as an effective teaching and learning strategy in especially contextually disadvantaged rural schools in South Africa. Here we look in the related literature and the discussions under this research paper. The recent curriculum innovations have heightened the need for identifying the concerns that teachers have in practical work in various countries worldwide. And this is referenced from Thetikaya 2012 and Ramuta Bawan in 2013. A major conclusion of the extensive literature on practical work is that fidelity to curriculum innovations is affected by teachers' concerns regarding their ability to access programs that assist in professional development, their teaching approaches and content knowledge. And this is referenced from Tos and Vasconcelos 2016. Although there are many other factors and uncertainties physical sciences teachers hold that affect practical work, teachers' beliefs are among the main personal determinants of reform execution. The situation is even worse, especially with regards to schools in disadvantaged rural contexts. Musa in 2011 states that South African townships and rural schools lack cognitive academic language proficiency required to execute similar higher order cognitive operations through a second language such as English. This is aggravated by the fact that they are faced with triple challenges during a single science lesson that involves mastering of science academic content, mastering of mathematical concepts used in science, and mastering of English, a medium of instruction they are not proficient in other than their mother tongue. The South African context, with limited resources such as laboratories and supplies, adds a further complication to the implementation of practical work in schools, and this is referenced from Titler in 2012. Research indicates that teachers are perturbed about organizing and coordinating the activities required for conducting and supervising practical work in order to achieve the curriculum assessment policy statement requirements of the South African school system. There seems to be limited participatory decision-making and sharing of visions among physical sciences teachers. Therefore, it is befitting of the paper to look into the role of professional learning communities in the teaching of practical work in physical sciences. We look at the benefits of professional learning communities. Through collective learning prescribed by professional learning communities, teachers like to base their learning on collegial inquiry and their dialogues about their reflections. Collective learning is one of the benefits of professional learning communities in that it helps teachers to pay attention to ways of improving their instruction by focusing on student learning. For teachers, it has been suggested that attention may need to be devoted to learning new strategies, new curriculum and assessment policies, and this is referenced from Hart in 2012. These learning strategies, such as PLCs in the physical sciences, may also be needed to plan for collaboration to incorporate new learning into practice. This approach will be used in order to revise, strengthen, change or continue the agreed new approach, which may be beneficial for members of professional learning committee. Physical sciences teachers need to communicate in a sense that all members of PLC are a productive part of a meaningful collective. Members of the professional learning community need to know that the learning of practical work in physical sciences is for the well-being of a community in order to assist learners to have an improved performance. Shared personal practice is one of the benefits that contributes to the development of a setting for teachers' professional learning and sensibly can be considered as one of the conditions that supports professional learning community. This is reference from Hart 2007, Pickering and al. In 2007. In professional learning communities, teammates discuss the situations at hand and specific challenges they face daily in their academic activities, and this is reference from Cruz in 2014. Therefore, as teachers participate in PLCs, they become members of a community that is aimed at supporting their professional development. In closing, the awareness of professional learning community as a teaching and learning strategy, its benefits and characteristics discussed in this paper will enable teachers to encourage learners to achieve higher levels of success in physical sciences practical work, and this may even make learners to even get higher levels in physical sciences in general. It will also enhance and promote teachers' professional development in especially contextually disadvantaged rural schools in South Africa. And I thank you.